I'm an insomniac. I've always been. So I watch 3 shows, and that way when I'm really focused. So I watch World War II documentaries, Dexter, and Law and Order that I've seen a million times. Yeah. So it doesn't distract me because I already seen that episode like 15, 20 times. And that's what I play. And then I price till 3 and 4 in the morning almost every night. That's what I do. And 3 weeks into this, right?
Yeah, I'd say we're a little over 3 weeks into the launch of the project here.
In between painting, picking up stuff we need. I mean, it's knocking off every day, 2, 3, 4 things off that list.
So, and I feel confident with where we're at, being at almost a halfway mark, let's say, right? We're almost there, and I feel pretty good because I actually feel in some areas we're a little ahead.
It's weird because you always get those moments, especially when you're building a business. Just your imagination fills in all the gaps, and instantly when that paint went on the wall, you just kind of seen it all to come together.
There's a lot of really great things that are happening, and it just, time is the challenge, right? And we challenged ourselves with 60 days on this, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of how tough that really is going to be. Welcome to 60 Day Comic Shop. We haven't been sleeping much, and we've been kind of off and running. It's pretty funny, like just out of the blue, it's like, oh, let's go do this. And then we're off and buying a collection.
And neither one of us slept that night. We were tired, probably did a 16, 17-hour day, and I stayed up till 5:30 in the morning, and then he was up till pretty close to that, and we told each other, let's take the next day off. And then, we're just not built like that.
Let's stage this. This is truly how it went. Yeah. So at the end of the really long day, I look at him, we're walking out the door, and I say, look, let's take tomorrow off, reboot, get reset, you know what I mean? Like get everything where we want it to be and roll. 1 o'clock on Sunday, I shoot him a message, got contacted. There's a comic collection for us to look at. Do you want to go look at it with me? He's like, sure. I'm down at Toy Shack right now, which is just down the street. So he hadn't taken the day off. He goes, meet me at the new spot, we'll go together. Okay, cool. So I come down, meet him, we get in the car, we go and we take a look at the collection. We end up doing a deal on the collection. Then we have to go get a U-Haul. It's Sunday. So we have to find a place we can get a U-Haul. We find a place, we get it. It's a little bit of a debacle. We get the whole thing figured out. We get to what we need to do. We get it done, we pick it up. When we pick it up, we had found some fixtures. So then we're like, well, let's go pick the fixtures up. So by the time we get done, it's about 8:30 at night. We're walking out the door, and I look at him and I said, it's funny, I thought you were taking the day off and you were at Toy Shack. And he goes, yeah, I just ended up down there. Like he starts getting into that. And I go, well, it's okay. Because this morning I went and bought some comic slabs. Before I even contacted him about the other stuff, I went and made another buy.
You guys have multiple locations. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, we just got this place on August 1st.
Really?
So we're just
that's cool.
Get things going. Yeah, we pop it right here.
Okay. So I guess I shouldn't have sold my vertibird.
It's just never ending, I mean, you just can't turn it off. I mean, and especially too, like him and I are always chasing deals on Marketplace, or we're getting, messages from the store or contacts from people out of state that are selling their collection. So we're always on the go, making deals, in between. And we stop whatever we're doing, and we never know from day to day where we're going to end up, or what's going to end up here, or what we're going to pick up on that day.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
60s is probably one of my 60s and 80s is probably my favorite era as far as sports go.
Time is of the essence, and every time we get pulled away, that's something else.
We're big into like the red lines,
Really?
Silver Age comic. G.I. Joe's still really big.
I had a G.I. Joe. I used to have I had the Apollo 13 model.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had that.
Oh, that's great.
That thing is probably, if you have one of those original, and then I had the...
Yeah, usually the screen either yellow or cracked.
Hey guys, how are you? Come on in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. How's it going? Toy Shack, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, my daughter.
We're opening a new location here, so
Nice.
Yeah, it's been endless since we've come here. Yeah. What are you asking for this?
I want 175, 180. There's a lot of Spider-Man, Deadpool, and stuff like
How'd
that.
you come up to that with that number on this?
There's 100 pieces in there.
Okay. Realistically, on this box, I think usually if you come to the store, we're gonna be like around 60 to 70 bucks. But you came here, you fixed
And I
the
fixed your machine for you.
So if we could do 100 on this, if you're okay with that,
Okay.
I'm good with that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being collectors, when somebody throws something out at you, it's fantastic. If somebody doesn't throw something out, but you know about it, then you vulture on it. So I try not to share things that's not available, only things that are available.
No, it's fine. I always tell people,
because
in fact,
it's outright for a collector. I think it's rude.
I actually tell people all the time, if you have stuff that you brought in that you don't want to sell, set that aside.
Yeah.
And then
don't
let's talk
say
about the
it.
stuff
Yeah,
you really
exactly.
want to sell. Because we're not here to see collectors leave the market. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'll just give you a comparable on this one right here. So you can give me.
In the 90s, like, it became a big deal to kind of repop some of the original toy lines. And so G.I. Joe was one of them that saw a repop. You saw Hot Wheels move to a carded version of the original red lines. Star Wars in the 90s kind of relaunched the original trilogy lines of figures. It just became a really big thing in the 90s, and so G.I. Joe was one of the ones that caught it. So this is just like what an original G.I. Joe Land Adventurer would have been. They flocked his hair, they did everything. He's done with all of the scaling and stuff that would have been original, even the shoes and everything, but this is all modern based. So this was produced like in the late 90s, early 2000s, 2006. So there you go, 2006 on that guy. Looks just like the original vintage Kung Fu grip and everything, but completely different item from what the original might have been. And it's funny because there's some G.I. Joes that look just like the originals, and people will come in and swear that they're the originals, but actually they're not. And they'll turn them over and they'll be like, well, the stamp says it's from 1967. Well, no, it's a mold date. It's the date they molded that one, but there's indications as to being modern or vintage. So that's what happens from time to time. So it's kind of what we're looking at here. This is Ultimate Soldier. This isn't even G.I. Joe, right? So this is another brand, and they put stuff out that was scaling to the G.I. Joe scale, like G.I. Joe, but not actually G.I. Joe. Right? Same thing here. Ultimate Soldier. It's not G.I. Joe. The Ultimate Soldier stuff is accepted in the G.I. Joe space because they made vehicles or versions of vehicles that G.I. Joe collectors would have liked to have had, so at least they have that, right? And they followed some of the original styling. It's not the same stuff. They used more, more plastic and whatnot in the designs, whereas like some of the original G.I. Joe stuff had a little bit more metal or whatever in it. And it's not always true because like the space shuttle was plastic, like these things, but it's just kind of the nature of how it is. So yeah, that collector will collect the Ultimate Soldier stuff too.
You gotta remember, a lot of this too has like some condition issues too. I don't know if it was like stored in the heat or something happened to it, but
when you see it bright yellow like that, the bright yellow in the blisters, that's actually heat oriented, not direct sunlight. Whereas direct sunlight will be lighter like that, but the packaging will also end up lighter too.
thank you guys. Grab your drinks if you guys. Thank you. When you hear G.I. Joes, I was hoping something from the 80s or even 60s stuff, but I mean, it's all modern, but they still sell. So the guy thought that this was, $1,000 item, and did giveaway, of course, is the cute UPC code on here. And yeah, so these are remakes. I mean, still probably like maybe a $30 piece, but nowhere near 400 or 500. So, you know, I mean, it's still pretty cool, but it just doesn't hold, you know, that huge like collector demand like the older stuff.
We're sitting here and we're having to up and run and go do this stuff. We're still been able to accomplish like the goals that we have within the shop, right? And the stuff that we're working on. One of those things that like that disrupts what we're trying to accomplish here, right? That takes hours away from our plate there. So it's like, how do we make up in other areas? And that's what we've had to do. So, you know, we started it with this, and I kind of will wrap this kind of synopsis of this with the fact that it's been late nights, and it's been late nights every night.
We have huge imaginations. We got this huge goal of things that we want to accomplish, you know what I mean? And no matter what we're going to open in 60 days, how many things on that list that we are able to do before we open, we'll see. But, you know, hopefully we can achieve somewhat of what we're trying to provide here for the customers and the experience, you know. But I believe it's going to be a work in progress for the next, you know, 1 to 2 years. You know, we're going to keep adding and moving around stuff and kind of give that cool vibe of what we expect this place to be.